Good morning. It's Saturday, and it's very rare that I do a Saturday video because I try and preserve weekends to just chill out. But there have been some things that have been surfacing over the last 12 hours or so about the budget, and I want to highlight this here. I want to gain your thoughts first and foremost, but I also want to point out something that is really important for us to talk about. And I've got a call to action at the end of this. So if you do stick around and my call to action makes sense to you, please act on it and act on it as soon as you possibly can. What is the rumor? The rumor is that Rachel Reeves has made up the number around the black hole, this 22 billion pound black hole. We've heard about this since they won the election, and it has been the reason she has given, or Labour have given, for the need to increase taxes. Now, sources, and I've checked out some of these, have basically come out and said that, well, in the OBR's assessment, they couldn't find an accurate representation that made up a 22 billion pound black hole. And in most of the OBR reports, they referenced last year a 9 billion pound black hole, or 9.5 billion pound or thereabouts, right? Still a big black hole, but still not 22 million. They also are speculating that actually that black hole had closed by the time she ran up to the election to the budget this week. So if this is true, what they're basically alleging is that she lied about the black hole, all to increase taxes. Now, I personally don't see why she would do this. What does she have to gain by doing this? What do Labour have to gain by doing this? They would surely understand that this would be political suicide if this came to light, and it feels like there are lots of sources reporting this now. And I'm going to take you through a segment to kind of gauge your view based on other sources talking about this right now. Now, I want to think that she would never do this, okay? I would love to think that. I'm sure that there is a reason behind the 22 billion pound figure. I think the debate or the question is, are those numbers made up as a black hole in the finances exclusively, or were other things added to it to make the problem seem bigger than it is? I want to hear your comments in the section down below, but let's just go over to this video over here and listen to this together, because Robert Peston's on here as well, okay?
The Chancellor has been accused by the Conservatives of lying to the public over the financial black hole she said she needed to fill in the budget. Ahead of Wednesday's speech, there were warnings that Rachel Reeves had to find tens of billions of pounds to balance the government's books. But today, the Office for Budget Responsibility, the independent body which provides economic forecasts and analysis of the public finances, said the Chancellor knew from the beginning of October that the gap was actually much smaller at £2.5 billion, and that by the end of the month, the gap had closed altogether and stood at a surplus of £4.2 billion. Well, our political editor, Robert Peston, is here. Robert, it's just one thing after another with this budget, isn't it? How serious is this for the Chancellor?
In terms of confidence in the budget-making process, it's very serious. I mean, genuinely, I've been covering budgets for something like 35 years. I've never experienced anything even remotely as chaotic as this. And never before has the Office for Budget Responsibility felt it had to publish a formal letter setting out what it told the Chancellor when. And the reason it's decided to do that is because for 2 months there have been reports including by me here on ITV, that there was this very big hole in the public finances because the OBR was downgrading its forecast for productivity and growth. And it's true, they did over the summer downgrade those forecasts. In fact, one of the things it says is that the Treasury got the results of all of that way earlier than the Treasury was signalling. That was a 16 billion hole. What, however, it told the Treasury only literally a few weeks after it gave the bad news, and this is the important point, but it gave this information to the Treasury at the end of September, was that a far bigger sum would be coming in, a positive, because inflation and wages were higher than expected. When inflation and wages are higher than expected, taxes are higher than expected. And so the 16 billion hole was covered almost twice by 31 billion of extra tax. So this idea that there was this financial crisis was just wrong. Now, to be
When you hear people say this, you have to wonder who the fuck is at the wheel. I'm sorry for my French here. Who is at the wheel deciding to carry on with a narrative? I mean, surely at this point, once things are adjusted because of the factors Robert has just mentioned here, surely you then take that into account into your plans and be like, okay, maybe these are, and the fact that they let so much speculation loose as well, knowing this information, it undermines the credibility of the entire government and who's doing what in government. I mean, a bunch of kindergarten kids could do a lot better job than these bunch right now. And it just does not fill you with any kind of confidence that we have competent people in government in high office making policies that impact everyday people. They raised 40 billion quid this week in taxes. 40 billion quid. And we're now learning that potentially they didn't have to raise those taxes because that hole had shrunk almost entirely. So I could get on board with the idea that she came out and said, listen, this is the situation right now. The black hole, due to a number of factors, has been eliminated or shrunk or whatever, however you wanted to put it, right? We're actually in surplus right now. However, we thought that it's important to raise more taxes so that we can address things like the NHS, provide growth, help for growth to businesses, which we did not see in the budget, by the way. We saw two measly, pathetic measures. If she'd come out and position things that way, maybe people would be like, okay, this is cool. This comes out, doesn't matter, because they've been transparent. But where's the transparency? Where is the transparency? Did they really think, oh, this would never come to light? It makes me wonder, was the OBR leak intentional? If the OBR have felt the need to publish something to the public, to put it out in the public domain, which they don't typically do, I don't recall them ever doing, that tells you that there is a problem. I mean, what on earth is going on? Let's continue.
clear. In the end, the Chancellor raised £26 billion, but not because of a financial crisis, because she made choices. She wanted to build up a bigger buffer against for future shocks. She didn't have to do that. She wanted to hand £3 billion to families on lower incomes who had more than 2 children through the end of the 2-child limit on universal credit. That was another choice. There were lots of these choices. There was more spending. But these were choices. None of this was a result of a crisis. And the reason this is all quite serious is because in the middle of this, something else happened that had never happened before, which was the Chancellor gave a press conference at Downing Street. You'll remember it. We all went onto emergency stations. We thought the world must be ending. But despite the fact she gave this press conference to tell us how terrible things weren't that terrible. That is the whole.
I think this is the most deceptive part of it all. And look, she has to go. I'm sorry, she has to go. And this is the really difficult. I mean, look, I don't necessarily take sides on parties, Labour, Tories, whatever. You vote however you want to vote. But this right now, this is a nail in the coffin for Labour forever. They're done. Dusted. Keir needs to go. She needs to go. I don't know who takes the reins next. Apparently, Kemi's been doing extremely well off the back of the fact that she really let her have it at the budget this week. But I think we all know where the momentum is actually going. And I don't necessarily want to espouse where I would vote if I were to vote at the next general election, because it's not really my place to influence your political choice. But at the end of the day, these lot need to go. They're done. It's the nail in the coffin. She needs to be out of a job. Keir needs to sort something out, because this is absolutely outrageous. If this is true, this is outrageous.
Point. And so whether you're a journalist, whether you're a taxpayer, whether you are somebody who lends tens of billions of pounds to the government, what emerges from all of this is just a sense of what on earth was going on in the Treasury that they wanted to create this sense of crisis.
Okay, Robert, many thanks.
I'm going to link that down below, okay? But look, here's my call to action to you, okay? We are in a situation right now where people feel disempowered, disenfranchised, disillusioned. And whilst this is happening, by the way, you're being absolutely hammered for every penny that the government can get out of you in taxes. They've disincentivized people to invest for their future in a freaking pension. They've taken away the incentive via, doing the salary sacrifice thing that they did this year. Not only are they going to tax you more because they've frozen your income thresholds, they're also going to tax you on death so that you can't even pass down the assets that you worked hard to accumulate to your kids, to your beneficiaries. They are tightening the screw on everybody. Everyone but the uber wealthy who have assets that generate their income. These are the lot are supposed to be for the working people. And if this is not a reality check for you, it needs to be one hell of a reality check for you. And here's my call to action. All of this stuff going on right now, in number 11, number 10, you cannot go in there and influence any of that thinking. You can't do squat. But you do have a few controllables that you do have influence over, and that is your own personal finances. If the Chancellor is more than willing to make things up, create a financial crisis that may have once upon a time existed, but by what we're hearing right now, on the day of the budget was not as bad as she thought, and was not as bad as she thought when she did that emergency press conference. If she's willing to lie, potentially, or, I don't know, let's say, paint it to be worse than it is, then that should be a wake-up call for you to sort out your personal finances. And here's my call to action. Whether you are struggling with budgeting, you don't really know where to begin or how to do it properly, you feel a little bit uneasy, you're not confident, whether you're struggling with debt, you've got credit cards that you don't know how to navigate them. I spent 10 years in credit card debt, so I know what it's like. It's not just about the financial impact of having credit cards that you're rolling over on 0% balance transfers and it just keeps going on forever. It's the mentality, it's the depression, the anxiety, the mental health impact that costs you the most. Believe me, I know. I've been there. So if you're struggling with debt, if you are at this point in time knowing that you are earning pretty decent, but you don't have a financial buffer and you feel vulnerable, you feel like you're constantly on the breadline, like paycheck to paycheck, and you want help and you want to be part of a community of people who feel just like you, because I can promise you right now, there are plenty of people in this exact position. I know this because I run webinars for corporates, and all the time, every single time I hear people, I'm not confident with budgeting. I'm really struggling with how I'm going to, manage my debt. I don't have a financial buffer. If you want to be in a community of people who are in the same position and want help, and this is the key bit, if only you want help, if you're proficient, you know how to budget, you know how to get rid of your debt, you don't need to do this, okay? You don't need to follow through on my call to action. But if you need help, there is a link in the description down below. I'm building a raft of tools right now, and one of them is an AI-based tool. It's not going to be ready until the new year. I want you to join a wait list so that when this thing is available, you get access to it. I'm also building the community. That's currently in construction. Once the community is ready, you can have access to it. And the idea here is that within the community, we'll be able to take you through the practical steps to really gain control over your finances once and for all, and help you set goals and help you align your finances with your goals. So it doesn't feel like you're just waking up every day, going to work 9 to 5. Well, for some people, 8 to 8, 10 to 10, working 10, 12 hours a day, and you feel like you're just stood still. If that's you that I've just described, there is a link in the description. Please go click it and join my list. And once all of this is ready to be launched, you will gain first access to it. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below of all of this. Honestly, I came across this morning and I've been raging the entire time. And I want to get your views, and I wanted to share this with you because this is important stuff. I don't know why they would do this. I don't know why they would do this. I would like to think there is some kind of misunderstanding, that there was some kind of intention that wasn't corrupt, that wasn't vindictive. If you wanted to give 3 billion quid to people in benefits, just say you wanted to give 3 billion quid to people in benefits. Don't then go and destroy people's potential of saving for retirement. Don't disincentivize people who are building businesses who want to do well. Like, give me a freaking break. Anyway, look, there it is. If you enjoyed this video, also consider subscribing as well. We're trying to get to 80,000 subs by the end of the year. Comment 10% if you're here at the end, and I'll acknowledge you in the comment section down below. Have an amazing weekend, whatever you're doing. Cheers.